It would feel like my chest was trying to, just every breath just felt like something was constricting around my heart. I know of one plant employee who ended up with 2 lesions on her face, one that left a hole. Shortly after she was out of there, those skin lesions went away. My name is Jessica Robertson, and I am 47 years old. In 2002, I was hired by the USDA, and my duty station was the Norbest turkey processing plant.
I am a USDA inspector that has been detailed and stationed at Norbest turkey processing plant for the last 8 years. My beautiful mountains, it's my backyard and my front yard. You know, I moved out here. I had a career with the USDA, bought my home, and all because of the chemicals. I have to give all this up. They want me to give all this up and move to the city. I love my job. I loved my job. Knowing that I was helping the consuming public, making sure their food supply was safe. But now, doing that's causing my health to degrade. It's an 80-year-old building. There's one door that the employees enter and exit through. The building is just like a prison. There's absolutely no windows. The only windows that are there are upstairs where the management offices are. We will be in that building, and the only time we see the sun is during our lunch break.
FSIS are putting stronger requirements on industry, and here's this new acid. It's called peracetic acid. It's more effective, it has higher kill rates, and it's a lot cheaper than pretty much anything on the market. And I think right now, if you were to investigate, you would see 95 to 97% of your poultry establishments probably use PAA.
There's no ventilation system. The idea that plant management has is to put circulating fans in, and they call that ventilation. And all that does is just move all that contaminated air around. You show up on a Monday, you feel great because you've been away from there for, the weekend. Tuesday will start burning, and you're constantly blinking, and then your eyes watery, and it burns to breathe through your nose, and then pretty soon your throat gets real raspy and raw, like you've been coughing a lot. Then you start coughing, and then by the end of the week, it feels like you have an elephant sitting on your chest. You just can't get a good breath. And then you go home, and then the weekend, you're out of that facility, out of that contamination for 2 days, and you feel great. Oh. But then you go back Monday, and it's just a vicious cycle.
We hunt not only for the sport, but because I like to know where my meat's coming from. We do our own processing right here, chemical free. It's important that people understand that when they say water retention, it's not just water. There's a lot of chemical mixed in there. Well, right there in the specs from the manufacturer, and one of their selling points is that this particular antimicrobial or acid will help you retain more water. I had one bird that I had tested, a tom bird, that went into the chiller at 36 pounds and came out at 52 pounds. They came out looking like hot air balloons. They'll hit a trip, so it falls off onto a conveyor belt, and it's like a tidal wave sometimes. Ladies over in the bagging department, they've got some sort of abnormal skin lesion going on. Well, if you have oozing or pus lesions, you can't be working around product. I had to tell their supervisor I would require them to put sleeves on, like a sleeve guard. But the bird, nonetheless, is still full of antimicrobial water that you pay for. On May 6, 2016, I could smell the chemicals really bad in the one area where I test. I'm having a really hard time breathing, and it just got worse and worse throughout the day. They called the local EMT, and she's like, "You need to get to the hospital. We should probably call you an ambulance." After I went, there were 2 other coworkers that went to the ER with the same symptoms.
My arms and fingers went numb, and they got stiff, and they were just like I was almost having like a seizure. And from that moment on, my life changed. There is no long-term knowledge of what these antimicrobials do to humans. We're the guinea pigs. We'll know in 5 years if we're going to get cancer, but by that time it's too late. Over a period of 3 to 4 years, I have filed over 60 4791s for unsafe working conditions, and every one of them went ignored.
I know I've filed probably well over 100. They were allowed to pile up on the deputy district manager's desk, and then he disappeared. He retired. There's too many people getting sick there. I mean, there's people that stand at that post hill, and by the end of the week, they look like they got jaundice because of that exposure. They confided in me because they wanted to see something change. I've watched friends, coworkers, people I don't know drop. And if you took the time to listen to them, they all speak the same story, the same language.
In May of 2016, I called Federal OSHA, and they did come in, but the plant literally had the chemicals shut off.
They will tell you that nobody complains. They want to keep hiding it. But when you get exposed to chemicals every day for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, what do you think's going to happen? These are human beings. They breathe, they live, they eat, they have families. I never started out to be an advocate. I was mainly just trying to get to work, get through work, get to retirement.
All they're doing is getting rid of somebody that's trying to advocate a safe working environment. It doesn't do anything for the employees and the other USDA inspectors that are stuck still working there to this day. I was retaliated against. I'm in jeopardy of losing my home. And when I lose my home, I lose my horses, I lose my livestock, I lose my way of life.
And when you work for a government agency and they make you hang posters like whistleblowers and OSHA and sexual harassment, and that you look at those posters and you go, wait a minute, there's people out there in the rare event that something should happen, that these people should be able to help me. Nobody's been able to help us.
I'm now on a daily inhaler and carry a rescue inhaler with me everywhere I go.
I am looking at turning away from an almost 16-year career and starting out looking for a new job, making $10, maybe $12 an hour.